Welcome back to Trapeze Talk. I'm your host Paula Blackwelder here with legendary trapeze artist Tony Steele. Tony,
Hi.
Today's show is specially dedicated to one of your favorite friends, Slick Valentine.
Okay.
All right, and you're holding up a picture of him in our book. I think that's on chapter 3, the characters who will enter your life. And Slick Valentine entered your life in a big way, Tony.
He's the tallest one here, yeah.
Well, tell us some silly stories about Slick.
They're all silly.
Well, what about the time when you wanted to play a joke on him? Remember that? You were on the pedestal board and you were punching the flyers up there.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I was on the pedestal board, and Slick Valentine, he has, that reminds me of the story. His head is always like this because he hurt himself flying somehow. So his head's always over to the side. So that's why we used him to level our crane bars. Take it up on that side, down a little bit. Right there, tie it off. That's even, you know. But he would sit in the catch bar the same way.
Wow.
So he said, we're practicing. Okay, what's next, you know? So I nudged the two flyers that were on the board with me. I said, watch this. Catchers hate this trick. It's suicide to them, you know? And it's the most dangerous trick for the catcher. It's a double forward over, and the feet are coming over, and there's no way they can get out of the way. But, so I said, watch his face. Okay, Slick, let's do a double forward. And he just sat there in the catch bar nonchalant, and he said, never mind the mule, just load the wagon.
That is classic.
Yeah.
So how did you do? Did he need to put a helmet on and a mouthpiece to get ready for you coming over, or did you nail it?
He was fearless.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard other people say that he was fearless, and he tried to retire, but he was called out of retirement. Tell us about some of those shenanigans.
Well, first of all, he was a great, wonderful catcher. He caught my first triple, and he caught Tina Gayona's first triple, by the way.
No kidding.
Yeah. But he was a very well-known catcher. He was very good. But he was retired now, and he's getting a little belly on him and whatnot. And so these flyers, they had to have a catcher. They didn't have a catcher, and they said, well, we're going to have to get Slick Valentine. So they call him up, and Slick is very pretentious, you know. So he asks for an outrageous salary and wants to be picked up in a limousine and driven to the building and whatnot. So did there, and he got there, and don't forget, he's really way out of shape. So they're walking out to the rigging, and the boss said, how much time do you need to practice? And he said, well, how long have these guys been flying? Oh, all their life. He said, well, I've been catching all my life, so we don't need any practice.
That's a classic.
And he told me the story, and I can't be him. He can only be him, and he's just funnier than heck. He's walking out to the rigging, and he's putting on his wristbands. He says, and I looked up, and the first thing I saw was a rope. I mean, some catchers have a rope, but on my rigging, I have a ladder. And I said, oh my God, how am I going to get up there? I'm going to shinny up that rope. So he did. He shinnied up that rope, and he made it to the catch bar, they call it. And he doesn't have a routine. They haven't practiced or anything like that. And so he looks back, and we use a lot of hand signals in the flying act, you know. That's a full twister, you know, that type of thing. That's a double. So they look back at him, and the guy goes something like, I don't know what the hell that is. But he says, I'll get in the lock and see what they throw. So my catch bar never did arrive, and I had to use their catch bar. And he says, I'm a big person. His legs are that big, and his catch bar is that big. So he says, I went to get in the lock, which to get into the lock, you grab the bar, bring your legs around, and put it in the catcher's position. And he said, I couldn't even fit one hand between my legs, so I put one hand up top of the other, and somehow I managed to get into the lock. By the time I got in the lock, the bar was up here. It's supposed to be down here. So he goes like this here, and they threw something, I don't know what it was, a full twisting something or other. And so anyhow, they got through the act, and he got paid and flew back to Texas.
Oh, my stars. That is so funny,
Yeah.
especially when you know Slick and you know the catch trap and dimensions and how hard it is to get up a rope, especially in an L position to get up the web. So Slick, this was dedicated to you. You brought a lot of laughs to a lot of people, and I'm sure.
One time, I was doing the high dive, and I told Slick, I said, you know, I am getting comfortable with this. I said, I think I could go 10 foot higher. Okay, now pretend that Paula is me and I'm Slick. And he said, yes, Tony, if you went up 10 foot higher, it would scare the crap out of you.
Nobody else, just you, right?
Just me.
Well, I'm sure Tony is going to think about a lot more Slick Valentine stories, so we're probably going to have to dedicate another show to Slick Sillies. In the meantime, Tony's got something to show everybody. What you got, Tony?
I've got a book and a DVD. The DVD is a lot of my flying in the 50s and later on.
And show the cover. Yeah. That's your world tour, is what you named it, because you filmed all over the world.
Right.
Because you flew in Vietnam, in Germany, in Scotland, in Mexico.
China.
Yes, so make sure you get one of these. It's Tony's flying all over the world, and his adventures, his trips with Lily. It's unlike anything else you can see. You'll learn so much from it, and you will be encouraged by the bonus features, which are news segments of Tony back on the trapeze after his stroke, after his surgery, after his rehab.
Yeah, filmed right out here in the back, yeah.
Yes. And your book.
This is our book, because Paula wrote it, and it's about me, so it's our book. It's called From Gazuni to Greatness, and it can be gotten online at
FromGazuniToGreatness.com.
FromGazuniToGreatness.com, and it's very, very, very entertaining book. I suggest you get one.
Yes, we wrote it in a John Maxwell style, where there's questions at the end of every chapter to engage the reader. And Tony told it all. So I really commend you for opening up and sharing some things that in the beginning of us working together on this, you really weren't sure that you wanted to reveal so much information about yourself, your past, but you did, and I thank you, and I know that it's helped a lot of people. You have 50 reviews on Amazon alone.
I hope it helps people, and I hope that they find it interesting and helpful.
Yes, and Tony, we want to thank you for sharing, and please remember that he can write a personal message and sign them. He has a beautiful autograph. If you order them from his website, from GazuniToGreatness.com, they're also available on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads. So Tony, thanks again for sharing some Slick Valentine stories. Come back and see us next time on Trapeze Talk.
Bye-bye.